Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what kind of soul hides behind the calm, rounded eyes of a Taurus born in the year of the rat? This rare combination might look ordinary at first glance, but look closer, and you'll find a person who is an unshakable rock and a quicksilver strategist all in one. It's like blending an ancient oak with a clever fox, and that makes for one fascinating human being. In love. When it comes to love, these people are endlessly intriguing. Imagine someone who loves deeply, stubbornly, almost possessively, but also knows how to adapt and keep the spark alive even when life tries to smother it. Taurus brings a need for comfort, loyalty, and rich sensual pleasures that ground them in the here and now. The rat brings charm, quick wit, restless curiosity, and an instinct for reading people's hidden desires. Together, this means they are both patient and playful lovers, steady yet never boring. They aren't the ones to fall head over heels at first sight, oh no. They like to test the waters, sniff out inconsistencies, weigh the odds behind the scenes. They'll watch how someone treats the waiter, how they talk about their family, how they handle small disappointments. Once they commit, though, it's serious, no games, no exit plan. They'll remember your favorite dessert, the day you casually mentioned wanting to see the ocean at dawn, the exact way you like your coffee, and they'll make it happen without you having to ask twice. Love, for them, is built on trust and thoughtful gestures that quietly whisper, "I see you. I choose you," over and over again. Yet beware, break that trust, and you might never get it back. The Taurus-Rats' loyalty is a fortress, but once it's breached, they'll seal the gates forever. Betray them once, and you'll find yourself staring at a door that will never open for you again, no matter how sweet your apologies. They crave physical touch and closeness, believing that real intimacy is as much about tender gestures as it is about passion. A Taurus rat will gladly spend hours lying next to their partner, tracing invisible lines on their skin, studying the shape of a shoulder, the curve of a smile, listening to soft breaths in the dark. To them, this closeness is a language no spoken words can rival. They are protective lovers, fiercely so, not suffocating, but watchful in ways that make their partner feel treasured. They'll stand up for their person when someone crosses a line, they'll guard their secrets like precious stones, and they'll fight off life's daily intrusions to carve out sacred moments for two. There's a gentle but immovable fierceness in how they hold space for the ones they love. They're not easily swayed by pretty words or fleeting sparks. If someone wants to win their heart, they must show substance. Honesty when it's uncomfortable, consistency when it's inconvenient, and a willingness to grow together through both storms and sunshine. They hate cheap tricks in romance. The rat's cunning is used here to protect their own heart, not to toy with someone else's. Their romantic gestures can be grand, spontaneous, or deeply subtle, but they always come wrapped in meaning. A surprise dinner after a crushing week, a handwritten letter tucked into a work bag, a sudden road trip to a place that holds an old memory. These are not random acts but deliberate signs that say, "You matter to me. You live inside my thoughts even when I'm silent." Arguments in love rarely push them over the edge into drama for drama's sake. Instead, they prefer to settle conflicts through long, raw conversations that stretch late into the night. They want to understand the wound, name it, and figure out how to heal it together, not just patch it up. They'd rather wrestle with hard truths than let resentment build a silent wall. Once in love, they dream ahead. They see years, even decades, unfolding with the same person. They picture the comfort of shared mornings, inside jokes no one else gets, and the quiet certainty that when the world turns cold, there's always one warm hand waiting. They'll introduce their partner to old family traditions, the food that tastes like childhood, the songs that pull tears from their eyes, weaving their beloved into the very fabric of their identity. In marriage, they shine as steadfast partners who turn houses into homes. They crave stability. They want the shared mortgage, the carefully chosen furniture, the Sunday morning rituals. For a Taurus rat, marriage is a sanctuary from the noise of the world, a place where they can retreat, recharge, and feel utterly safe with someone who truly knows them. They see the home as an extension of their love, and they pour their time and energy into making it warm, beautiful, and welcoming to everyone they care about. The rat side, however, keeps them from falling into routine. They like to surprise their spouse, sudden weekend getaways to a secluded cabin, unexpected gifts that show they were paying attention, a whispered plan for a romantic dinner under the stars just when life starts to feel dull. They understand that while routine is comforting, too much sameness can kill the spark, so they inject moments of excitement to remind their partner that life together is still an adventure. They also make excellent planners, no missed anniversaries here. Expect thoughtful gestures that feel tailor-made. A handwritten card slipped under your pillow, breakfast in bed on a random Tuesday, or a bottle of your favorite wine waiting when you get home after a bad day. They are the ones who keep family traditions alive and invent new ones, giving the relationship a sense of history and future all at once. They'll work hard to build financial security for their family, sometimes taking on more than they should just to ensure their loved ones are comfortable. They measure their success not just in money but in the warmth of the household, laughter echoing in the kitchen, peaceful nights watching movies on the couch, holidays filled with familiar smells and small rituals only the two of them understand. They expect a partner who contributes emotionally and practically. They do not want to carry the entire weight of the marriage alone. They need to feel that their spouse is willing to show up, put in the effort, and match their devotion with equal parts love and responsibility. If they sense laziness or complacency, they may grow resentful, even if they don't say it outright at first. Arguments? They happen, mostly when their stubborn Taurus nature locks horns with their partner's opposing views. They can be infuriatingly immovable when they believe they are right. The rat will usually find a way to talk circles around conflict, using clever words and subtle persuasion to nudge things back to harmony. But if they feel cornered or manipulated, the Taurus part digs in like a tree rooted in stone. Winning an argument with them isn't easy, but they aren't interested in winning as much as they are in being understood. Resolution often comes through calm, patient conversation, and the occasional grand gesture to break the tension. A heartfelt apology wrapped in a shared meal, a long drive to nowhere just to talk things through, or a quiet moment sitting on the porch together under a blanket of stars. They don't believe in slamming doors or hurling ultimatums. They'd rather dig deep, find the root of the problem, and mend it so it doesn't break them apart later. They value loyalty in marriage above all else. They expect their partner to stand with them through storms and sunny days alike. They find deep fulfillment in being needed. They want to be the rock their spouse leans on, but they need to feel that same steady support in return. When both people show up fully, the Taurus rat creates a union that feels unshakable, like an old oak tree with roots that grow deeper each year. The most beautiful part of marriage with a Taurus rat is their quiet promise that every ordinary day can feel special when shared with the right person. For them, true romance lives in the soft moments: folded laundry, freshly made tea, a kiss on the forehead when you're half asleep. They believe in building a love so solid that no matter what changes in the world outside, you always have each other, and that, to them, is worth every bit of effort they pour into their lifelong promise. In sex, Taurus rats are sensuous, tactile, and delightfully indulgent. Touch means everything. Soft fabrics, warm skin, the scent of a lover's hair just after a shower. They don't rush intimacy. They savor it, stretch it, turn it over like a precious stone they want to examine from every angle. They see it as a world of its own, separate from daily life, a secret garden they can tend to and watch grow more lush with time. They want to please and be pleased in equal measure, and they have the stamina and curiosity to keep things fresh long after the initial thrill should have faded for ordinary couples. They are natural hedonists when it comes to physical connection. They adore comfort, warmth, and the luxury of taking their time. A Taurus rat might run a hot bath sprinkled with oils before bed, light candles that flicker shadows on the walls, and turn a simple night into a private ritual of touch and closeness. They crave an environment that heightens the senses: silk sheets, good wine, a whispered song. Every detail is part of the experience. Their rat side gives them a hidden playful streak, a wink across the dinner table, a sly text that hints at later plans, an unexpected suggestion that keeps their partner curious and slightly off balance in the best way. What looks like shyness on the surface can hide a delightfully wicked sense of fun behind closed doors. They love to tease, to challenge, to surprise. The rat's quick mind means they're rarely boring. They'll dream up small games and delicious secrets that turn routine nights into adventures. They believe good sex starts in the mind. A Taurus rat will flirt for hours, with looks, with subtle touches, with words that create anticipation. They know how to build tension slowly, letting desire simmer until it becomes irresistible. This blend of Taurus patience and rat cunning means their partner often finds themselves craving them long before a single piece of clothing comes off. They are deeply tuned in to the subtle signals that tell them what their partner wants. A sharp intake of breath, a shift in posture, a half-whispered word. The Taurus in them takes pleasure in fulfilling these unspoken wishes thoroughly, while the rat enjoys pushing gentle boundaries, introducing new ideas just when things start to feel too familiar. They can switch from tender to fiery and back again, reading the moment like an unspoken language. Foreplay isn't a phase to get through. For them, it's half the entire point. They delight in the slow exploration of skin and scent, in the teasing brush of fingertips along a collarbone, in a kiss that lingers until everything else fades away. They understand how to draw things out, how to build waves of closeness and pleasure that leave their partner breathless and satisfied, but also hungry for more. Afterwards, they are rarely distant or detached. They want to stay close, legs tangled together under warm blankets, exchanging lazy touches and half-dreamy conversation. For a Taurus rat, intimacy doesn't end when passion does. The moments after are just as sacred. They love the soft comfort of drifting to sleep pressed against someone who feels like home, their breathing slow and even, knowing they are safe in each other's trust. They do have boundaries. They need to feel emotionally connected to be fully open. If they sense betrayal or disrespect, their warmth can vanish overnight. But when they trust, they bloom fully, giving themselves with a wholeheartedness that makes their lover feel chosen in the most profound way. With a Taurus rat, sex is never just an act. It's a shared secret, a testament to loyalty, and a reminder that true passion, like true love, only grows deeper when carefully tended, night after night. In friendship. Friendship with a Taurus rat is both comforting and stimulating. They're the friend who remembers your birthday without Facebook reminders, who shows up with soup when you're sick, who'll listen to you rant about work for hours, then, when you're ready, hand you a plan to fix the problem. Their friendships are acts of quiet devotion, stitched together from countless small, thoughtful gestures that prove they are paying attention even when you think no one notices. They don't just say they care, they show it, time and time again, through practical help and unwavering presence. They thrive on reliability. You can trust that if you call them at 3 a.m. in genuine crisis, they'll pick up, even if you haven't spoken in months. The Taurus side of them believes deeply in standing by the people they love, while the rat side reminds them to find clever ways to make your life a little easier when things get hard. They might secretly help you fix your resume, find a job lead for you, or brainstorm a plan when you're too exhausted to think straight. They can be a bit possessive of their close circle. Once they let someone in, they guard that connection fiercely. They don't collect dozens of casual acquaintances just for show. They prefer a tight, loyal group that feels like an extended family. If they sense someone is flaky, disloyal, or untrustworthy, they won't cause drama. They'll simply fade out of reach, no explanations needed. To them, loyalty is the foundation of any true friendship, and once that's cracked, the structure can't stand. Their protectiveness can feel intense sometimes. They might bristle if someone hurts you or tries to take advantage of you. They're the first to give you a reality check when you're too forgiving of someone who doesn't deserve it. The Taurus in them hates to see their people mistreated, while the rat won't hesitate to point out the hidden motives they've quietly observed. They see what you might miss, and they won't stay silent if they think you're at risk of getting hurt. But they're not all seriousness and emotional labor. They're surprisingly good at pulling you into spontaneous adventures when life feels stale. A Taurus rat friend is the one who might drag you out for a midnight road trip, an impromptu picnic under the stars, or a last-minute concert just because they know you need it. They mix grounded loyalty with moments of wild, clever fun that break you out of your routine and remind you what it means to feel alive. They choose friends carefully. The rat side is always watching, quietly testing whether new people can be trusted with their secrets and their loyalty. You might never know you were being tested, but once you pass, once you show you won't betray them, gossip about them, or vanish at the first sign of trouble, you're in for life. And for them, for life, means exactly that. Years can pass, distances can grow, but if you ever need them, they're back at your side as if no time has passed at all. They're also the friend who knows when to push you and when to stand back. If you're stuck in a rut, they'll nudge you gently, sometimes not so gently, to remind you of your worth and your goals. If you're grieving or broken, they'll simply sit beside you in the silence, making you tea and giving you space to be however you need to be. They aren't quick with shallow comfort, they're there for the messy, uncomfortable parts of life too. Their loyalty runs so deep that sometimes they forget to put up boundaries. They'll sacrifice their own time and energy to help you, sometimes to the point of exhaustion. They don't expect equal repayment, but they do expect honesty and gratitude. In return, they give you a friendship that feels safe, warm, and full of life's small surprises, a bond that makes the world feel just a little less lonely. To be called a true friend by a Taurus rat is to know you are valued, protected, and never, ever alone. In business. Now here's where this sign combo really shines. Taurus gives them patience, practicality, and an eye for long-term success. The rat adds cleverness, adaptability, and a nose for opportunity. When these traits come together in a professional setting, you get someone who moves with steady determination but also adjusts quickly when the market shifts. They don't chase trends blindly, they study them, weigh them, and decide how to make those trends serve their bigger goals. They aren't easily swayed by flashy promises or get-rich-quick schemes. If a Taurus rat builds wealth or success, it's brick by brick, and each brick is laid with careful thought. They're not reckless risk-takers, but they're not afraid to pivot when needed. If they sense that sticking to the old way will sink the ship, they'll quietly redirect the course without much fanfare. They trust their instincts, especially the rat's uncanny ability to spot hidden pitfalls and opportunities that others miss. This makes them valuable in any business that demands both caution and boldness. They're like a chess player who plans 10 moves ahead but isn't afraid to change the game entirely if they see a better strategy open up. They'll work tirelessly, sometimes obsessively, to build their projects. They have little patience for sloppy work or shortcuts that might backfire later. They respect consistency and reliability, both in themselves and in the people they hire or partner with. Expect them to be the last ones to leave the office, the first to notice when something isn't adding up, and the person who can quietly untangle a mess before anyone else even realizes there's a problem. You'll often find them in leadership positions, or quietly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Not every Taurus rat wants the spotlight. Many prefer to be the trusted power behind the curtain, where they can strategize freely and make smart moves without drawing too much attention. Others thrive in visible roles, using their natural charisma and the rat's social skills to win people over and inspire loyalty among teams and clients alike. Colleagues may find them stubborn at times. They don't easily abandon an idea they believe in. This can make them frustrating in meetings when they dig in their heels over a detail everyone else wants to rush past. But this same stubbornness is why they often succeed where others give up too soon. They'll test an idea from every angle, polish it, refine it, and push it forward with steady determination until it becomes profitable or proves itself impossible. Their rat side means they're good at negotiation and subtle persuasion. They rarely bully their way to a deal. Instead, they observe the other side carefully, listening more than they speak at first, gathering insights into what people really want or fear. When they finally make their pitch, it often feels so reasonable, so carefully thought out, that resistance melts away. They can close deals others thought dead, revive partnerships on the brink, or find hidden profit in places no one else bothered to look. If there's profit to be made, they'll find a way, often in ways that surprise everyone around them. They're resourceful and creative in practical, grounded ways. If a door closes, they don't waste time complaining. they quietly build a new door. They're also shrewd enough to know when to cut losses. While the Taurus side might want to hold on forever, the rat reminds them that sometimes retreating today means winning tomorrow. Underneath it all, what really drives them is the vision of security and lasting success. They don't just want a big win for the moment, they want to build something that lasts, a company, a legacy, a reputation that says they could be trusted to deliver quality and results. When you work with a Taurus rat, you know they'll bring not only steady work and sharp insight but also a quiet loyalty that makes them a cornerstone of any team. They're not the loudest voice in the boardroom, but you can bet they're often the smartest, and when they finally speak, everyone listens. Ask ChatGPT. The dark side. Even this sturdy, clever personality has shadows. Taurus rats can become greedy, for money, for comfort, for admiration. What begins as a desire for security and stability can twist into an insatiable hunger for more, more, more. They may justify it by saying they're building for the future, but in truth, they sometimes struggle to know when enough is truly enough. Comfort becomes an obsession, and they can surround themselves with luxury or status symbols not just because they enjoy them, but because they need them to feel safe, powerful, or above the chaos of the world. Their stubbornness can harden into inflexibility. Taurus already resists change, and when mixed with the rat's calculated mindset, it can result in someone who refuses to budge even when the situation demands it. They may dig in their heels during a disagreement, ignoring better ideas or rejecting compromise just to maintain control. This can alienate coworkers, frustrate loved ones, and cause them to miss out on chances for growth, all because they couldn't let go of their original plan or admit they might have been wrong. Their charm can become manipulation when they feel threatened. The rat's natural wit and emotional intelligence are strengths, until fear or insecurity twist them into tools for control. A Taurus rat who feels vulnerable may play emotional games, guilt trip, or use flattery and false humility to get their way. It's not always malicious, sometimes it's a defense mechanism, but it can erode trust in their relationships. They may convince themselves that bending the truth or managing people's emotions is justified, as long as the outcome serves a greater goal. Sometimes, they hold grudges like precious stones, turning old betrayals over in their mind for years. They might forgive on the surface, even smile and act cordial, but deep down, they remember. They catalog wrongs and store them quietly, letting resentment crystallize into something sharp and permanent. It can turn once warm friendships into cold distances, all because the Taurus rat couldn't truly release the pain. This tendency to brood over the past makes it difficult for them to move forward, and can sometimes poison otherwise healthy relationships. And when cornered, their calm exterior can crack, revealing sharp words and ruthless moves no one saw coming. They are usually measured and even-tempered, but if they feel betrayed, lied to, or pushed beyond reason, they can snap with terrifying precision. It's not a chaotic explosion, it's calculated, surgical. They know exactly where to strike to make it hurt. People who once saw them as serene and reasonable may suddenly glimpse the steel beneath, and it's often a shock. They might also struggle with workaholic tendencies, chasing financial security so relentlessly that they forget to live. Driven by Taurus's need for stability and the rat's relentless ambition, they often set impossible standards for themselves. They may sacrifice health, relationships, and personal joy in pursuit of success, all while convincing themselves it's temporary, just until they reach the next goal. But the goals keep moving, and their restlessness keeps them running long after they've already won the race. Or they might cling to toxic relationships out of sheer loyalty, refusing to see when it's time to let go. Taurus rats don't give up on people easily. They are deeply loyal, sometimes to their own detriment. They may excuse bad behavior, downplay red flags, or convince themselves that things will change if they just try harder. This devotion, while noble, can keep them trapped in dynamics that chip away at their self-worth, all because they'd rather endure discomfort than face the pain of letting go. Even their intelligence can become a trap. They overthink, overanalyze, and sometimes become paranoid. The rat's mental agility and the Taurus's suspicion of change can lead to spirals of doubt. They may begin to believe that others are plotting against them, that opportunities are traps, or that vulnerability will be exploited. In these moments, they become guarded and distant, unwilling to trust anyone, even those who've proven themselves time and again. At their worst, Taurus-Rats become emotionally closed off, rigid in their ways, and quietly ruthless, hiding their wounds behind a polished exterior. But even in their darkest moments, they remain deeply human, complex, capable of change, and often painfully aware of their own flaws. The key to their growth lies in learning to release control, forgive the past, and trust that not everything in life needs to be planned or protected. Some things, especially love, rest, and happiness, have to be allowed, not earned. Life goals. What drives them? Security, yes, but more than that, mastery. They want to build something solid. A business that outlasts economic storms, a family that feels like an unshakable tribe, a reputation that commands quiet respect long after they've left the room. Taurus-Rats crave the satisfaction of knowing their efforts will stand the test of time. They dream of legacies, not necessarily grand monuments or public fame, but solid, undeniable proof that their work, values, and loyalty made a real mark on the world. They don't just want to have wealth, they want to create it, slowly, surely, strategically. Money for them isn't just comfort, it's freedom from fear and unpredictability. A well-padded bank account, investments that quietly grow, a home that's paid for, these are more than goals, they're protective walls against life's chaos. They feel safest when they know they have planned for every scenario, so they strive to build financial stability not only for themselves but for everyone they love. At the same time, the rat inside pushes them to seek novelty, travel, fresh ideas. This side whispers that life is too short to only follow routines. Many Taurus-Rats lead double lives, the steady professional who clocks in on time, never misses a deadline, but come the weekend or late at night, they're researching a faraway city, plotting an unusual side business, or diving into a creative passion project no one at work even knows about. They need adventure to keep them feeling alive and mentally sharp. They love the feeling of mastering new skills. Whether it's learning a new language, exploring a new market, or picking up a practical craft like woodworking or gourmet cooking, they want to feel capable. They collect competencies like trophies, each one another brick in the fortress of self-reliance. This makes them endlessly interesting to talk to. They always have an unexpected hobby or a clever bit of knowledge tucked away. Deep down, they want to be remembered, not just as dependable, but as clever, resourceful, and quietly brilliant. They don't crave loud applause or fleeting fame. They want the respect that comes from being the person others trusted when it really mattered. They want their children, friends, and colleagues to speak of them with warmth. They always came through. They knew what to do. They took care of us when we needed it most. Their ultimate goal? A life where comfort and adventure coexist, where every risk is calculated, and where the ones they love feel truly, deeply cared for. They want the steady heartbeat of routine balanced by the electric thrill of discovery. They want a cozy home they can return to after wandering far. They want a career that pays the bills and gives them freedom to keep evolving. And above all, they want to share that life with people who appreciate the quiet loyalty and thoughtful protection they offer so naturally. They're not satisfied with half-finished dreams. Once they set their sights on a goal, whether it's buying land in the countryside, launching their own brand, or putting their kids through the best schools, they'll pour in years of steady effort until it's real. They rarely brag about this. Their victories come softly, but they build up over time until one day, they look around and realize they've crafted the very life they once imagined in restless, late-night dreams. Underneath all this ambition is a simple truth. They want to feel secure enough to relax, and curious enough to keep growing. They want to trust that no matter how the world changes, they've built enough safety nets to adapt. They want to know that their people are cared for, that the roof won't leak, that the pantry is full, and that their heart still leaps at the thought of a new idea or unfamiliar road. For a Taurus-Rat, the finish line is never just wealth or status, it's the deep peace of knowing they did things right, never took shortcuts on what mattered, and loved their people so well that even when they're gone, that love remains as solid and reliable as the life they built with their own careful, determined hands. So if you ever meet a Taurus born in the year of the rat, know this. Behind their calm smile is a mind that never stops ticking, and a heart that, once given, is yours to keep. This smile might look modest, almost shy, but it hides gears that never rest. Even when they sit quietly beside you, their thoughts are quietly dissecting the world, remembering details you forgot you shared, storing small facts for later, and planning 5 moves ahead. They don't boast about what they know or what they're plotting. They just store it up like a secret currency, ready to spend when the moment is right. When they nod at you with that serene expression, know there's an entire hidden strategy unfolding behind those steady eyes. Their calmness is real, but it's not emptiness. It's a blanket laid gently over a fire that rarely goes out. This is a person who can appear relaxed in chaos, who can talk you down when you're spinning, who can make big problems feel suddenly small with a single practical idea. They'll never flaunt their cleverness in your face. They don't need the applause, they'd rather watch quietly as the plan works and you feel safe again. And that heart they guard so fiercely, it's no ordinary love. If they decide you're worth it, they will stand by you with a loyalty that feels carved in stone. They'll remember your quirks, your fears, your dreams, sometimes better than you do. They'll make sacrifices you'll never even hear about. They'll hold grudges against those who hurt you harder than they ever would for themselves. They'll work quietly in the background to smooth your path, protect you, feed you, cheer for you when you can't cheer for yourself. This is not a fair weather companion. This is the friend who shows up in the rain with a spare umbrella. The lover who fixes your favorite meal after a fight. The partner who reminds you to rest when you'd rather run yourself into the ground. Once their heart decides you're theirs, the fortress is open, but cross that fortress unfairly, and you may never find the gate again. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Taurus-Rat soul, stick around. There's a whole universe of personalities to explore, each one carrying its own unique contradictions and secret gifts. The zodiac and the ancient cycle of the rat teach us that no person is ever just one thing. We are a blend of stubborn roots and restless winds, old traditions and daring experiments. Each sign holds a different map for what it means to be human. And if you want more cosmic secrets, more stories that help you understand yourself, your loved ones, or that quiet stranger who just might be a Taurus rat too, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and check out the other stories waiting for you in the description below. Every sign, every element, every hidden corner of your birth chart is another clue to who you are and how you love, dream, and fight for what matters. So come back for more, because somewhere in the stars, your next answer is waiting. See you next time.